Good evening, SBC, SBC, CBSL, and all points in between and outer and up and down and left and right and circumference. Thank you so much. Thank you and welcome to this April 6th edition of Tuesday Talk. I am your host and moderator, Mike Walker, and here's our wonderful panelists, Leslie, Reginald, Shannon, and Kirsten. Glad to have y'all here. Glad to have y'all here watching and glad to be back, y'all. Thank you all so much for your support. Oh, yeah. Thank you all. Appreciate y'all and just thank y'all. And I thank y'all more and I will thank you all more in the after party. So, yes, we'll have the after party tonight, though. So, y'all act right tonight, okay? Okay, now I just want to know, okay? And just glad to have y'all here, and we have a lot of folks. Glad to have we got a lot of folks here. Thank you. Just say hello to everybody right quick. Hey, Andrea rather, Tawanda. Yes, we got all y'all here. Steve, everybody. We just have the whole SBC here. Wow. Okay. Glad go through this. Thank y'all. So yeah, look at all these beautiful smiles. These are some beautiful people up here, aren't they? Yes, glad to have y'all here. Okay. Without further ado, we'll tackle our first topic today. Have you ever been with somebody? It was great, but for whatever reason, y'all split up. And then y'all end up being friends afterwards, like, well, we could still be friends, but then y'all start hanging out, probably having more fun now than you did back then, going places. And then you look at each other and you ask yourself, so what are we doing? What is this? I know some of y'all have been through that though. So the question is, at least the topic is, the second time around. And that's tonight's unofficial theme song, the second time around. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, girl.
Go ahead.
The first time, second time around. All right, come on now, y'all.
No, that's not my gift.
Shannon didn't kick in with me. What?
As I was singing it earlier, but you got it.
Okay, come on, Boo.
You sound good too.
Sound real good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so panelists, family, have you ever had a second time around?
Yeah,
I do know it. I start with my pal Leslie. Go right ahead.
Ooh, oh Jesus. Probably some second, third, and fourth time. Presently, I do have one friend right now that we dated for a while and then it didn't work out. Didn't talk for a little bit, but we realized maybe about 6 months later that we missed each other's friendship. And we're now, really extremely, really good friends. Talk almost every day. And so it's weird. Sometimes you think about it, but sometimes people are just meant to be friends. And, whatever happened at the beginning, when you're the opposite sex, you just try to do what feels natural. But sometimes those opposite sex friends are just meant to be friends. And it's happened in the past. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes you still have a little bit too much tension to try to maintain some type of friendship. And you just have to kind of go separate ways when you realize that. Sometimes that's hard to happen when you truly try to have something or have a connection with someone, but sometimes the past relationship still gets in the way of the current friendship. So I've seen it working both ways. Or work both ways.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think more power to, the people that it works for. But the way my mind is set up, I do not go backwards. There's no second, third, fourth, fifth time around. You got the first time around. And if that first time does not work, then that's it. And for me, like I'm cordial. I don't, other than when I was married, anyone that I've dated, we've never split up because of any bad, situation. Just didn't work out. So these are people that I'm still cordial with. However, I do not talk to them. I'm not calling them. We just don't talk. And that's intentional for me because I don't want any lines to be blurred, especially when they're dating someone new and I'm dating someone new. I don't want any of those lines to get blurred. I don't want it to be any kind of messy situation. I don't want to take anything, any old stuff into a new situation. The Bible says you can't put new wine into old wineskins. So I'm leaving those old wineskins where they are. I'm going to put that new wine in some new wineskins. So no, I don't go backwards. There's no second time for me or third time or fourth. Anytime. I mean, it works. Jesus forgives us over and over again. But I move on. Period.
You said something interesting. You said no second time or second chance, or third chance or fourth chance. But you have people who go beyond a second chance and a third chance, fourth, etc., and so on and so forth.
More power to them.
And not asking us to read a person's mind, but why do they do that? What is it? Is it a self-esteem issue or what is it to make them go, just keep going back and going back and going back?
I think sometimes people, our roles are misconstrued in relationships. A lot of times we get into these situationships thinking that, as long as I show them this, that, and show them what a good woman looks like or what a good man looks like, the situation will change. That's not our role, is to change anyone or their habits or their thought patterns. Like when you go into a relationship thinking that, you automatically set yourself up for failure. That's not your job to change anyone. You can't. That person has to want to change if they feel as if they need to change, And a lot of times we get hung up because of our feelings are involved. And we think, let me just keep working on them, or let me just keep giving them another chance, or let me try it out again and it's gonna work this time. Nah, I don't have that kind of time. I don't play those type of games. If it didn't work the first time, that's it. I have never, ever, and I said this before, I've never gone to the gym. I saw this one time, this guy was on the treadmill trying to show out. He was running on the treadmill backwards, trying to show out. I don't know what he was trying to prove, but he was running on that sapsucker backwards. And guess what happened? He got thrown right off into the wall. And I stood there and I asked him, was he all right? I said, brother, you all right? He was like, yeah. And then I chuckled. After I found out he was all right, I laughed. I did. And that's how we are. Doing all of these tricks, going backwards. It was never designed to do that. So why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? It was designed for you to go forward, not backwards. So ain't no second time, third, fourth, fifth, 12th time for me. You got that one time. And if we don't work, we just don't work. And that's okay. We split amicably. We're cordial. I speak, you speak, but I'm not calling you. I'm not trying to hang out with you. It's none of that. I just don't want to blur those lines. That's just me. Now, I don't knock anybody else for whoever it works for. It just doesn't work for me.
And I want to address this part right here, what Shamika said. They become familiar and they don't want to start over. So
I agree.
So is it a fear of finding something new and they may fail, or they just say, hey, I'm safe with this person. This is a sure bet. Even though it didn't work out 3 or 4 times before, Kirsten.
I truly believe it's a safety thing. It's truly a safety net. It's happened to me more than one time where the gentleman has come back, you know, for whatever reason, and decided that, oh, I messed up the first time around, and it'd be like, yeah. So anyway, um, you'll be all right. You'll get over it. And sometimes I've allowed the friendship, whatever, but nothing in a romantic kind of whatever that we had previously, because it's just I'm just not there anymore. We broke up for a reason. It didn't work out for a reason. So we just have to I truly believe it's about security. It's about the being familiar. It's about I don't have to start all over again, because to be honest with you, once you're in a relationship, who really wants to start over again? That for me, I'm like, Lord, you mean I got to start all over again? We got to do this all over again. Right now, I'm at the point. I'm at one of them other questions that Mike is probably going to propose later on. I'm good. I'm just good. I ain't doing that again. I'm just good right now. If it happens, let the Lord's will be done. But in the meantime, as far as Kirsten is concerned, KJ, wherever y'all want to call me, I'm good. I'm loving on me, blonde hair and all. Yes, thank you very much.
I can't deal with you, Kirsten. I can't deal with you.
But you love me though, Mike. You love me.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Erica says if it was meant to be, it would have worked out the first time in most cases. But in rare cases, sometimes second or third time, it's the charm. It's weird how that works. I feel like it depends on the person and the situation. Anybody want to tackle that right there?
Reginald has his hand up. No.
Well, first of all, as far as relationship, when it's over, for me personally, it's over. The phone number is taken out the phone. All communications are gone, because you don't look back at the plow trying to go forward. But most important is you have to decide for yourself what went wrong in the relationship in the first place. Why did it break up? Too many people jump into another relationship without resolving the first one. Okay. And if you don't, in your mind, figure out what happened, because it ain't necessarily have to be him. It could be you. And if you ain't got yourself together, then what you're going to attract is that same type of individual. And that's the problem. It's like a revolving door. You keep attracting that same type of individual over and over and over again, and you still wind up with these breakups over and over again, because it's something about you that's attracting that individual. So you need to stop and look at yourself and wonder, what am I doing? What is it about me that's attracting this type of individual? And if that's not what you want, then you need to do some inner searching yourself. That's why you got so much problems with these relationships. That's how you got problems with marriages. Women will stay with someone to stay with a man. He could be abusive to her, treating like a dog, but she'll stay there because she want a man. To say, I got a man. That's a lot of problem with a lot of women. They want to stay there because they, I got to have a husband. I got to have a man. No, you can do bad by yourself. But the problem is, folks don't take time to reflect on themselves and find out what's in them that's reflecting on that individual. Once you get that corrected out, then you can go out and search for somebody.
I think what Resmo said was so true, because I was sitting here as everyone was speaking, was reflecting on the relationship that I had in my 20s that was kind of going back and forth. And I was thinking, like, why was it? We were very immature. You're in your 20s. We really don't know what's going on. We really don't know where our life is going. We don't know what we want. We're working on our careers. We're trying to get debt free because we're working on student loans. We just got a lot going on. Then you're trying to be social. You're trying to work through these friendship circles that you're in and all these things that's going on. Plus have a relationship. And realizing in that relationship is just we were on different paths, still trying to be together in different cities, trying to get careers and all these goals playing out, and still not connect. It's like you're connected, but you're still far apart. And then you realize that you want to be connected. You're trying to stay connected, but it's still because of your distance or your work, it just keeps pulling you apart. And we kept going back and forth through that. And to the point where someone, to me, which I did, had to bring it to a pause, or not a pause, a complete stop. Because it got too hard. It was going on for too long. There's nothing wrong. It's nothing. We just broke up because it was just, I got tired. You get tired of trying to stay, get everything on the same path. And you're thinking, as most women do, in your late 20s, that I don't have too much time left. Well, here I am, almost 20 years later. I'm still single, and he's still single. So you never know what could have happened if we stayed trying. But I think you grow weary in most relationships that are not working out, even if it's still you're two good people still having strong feelings for one another, and things are just hard. And but you feel that you have this love for one another, but it's nothing abusive. I know nothing like that. It's just hard to get it to work the way we both have these ideas. And then you're in your 20s, and as being a female and being a male, we have these ideas in our head of what's a relationship should look like. And men have this idea, I gotta get all these goals met before I get married. Women, like, part of getting these goals met is to be married. So you have these different ideals as well of what that looks like, and that frustrates it as well. So it was a lot of different things, but I don't regret it because I learned a lot. But I would not do that again. And I had not done it again. I think you have to be on the same path pretty close to the beginning. Pretty close to the beginning of their relationship.
Yes, ma'am. Keena says, I won't repeat a situation without therapy or autopsy. Okay, Keena. Also, let your
you must want to type that
out. And let your day be day and your yay be yay. Okay. And we got some good comments. Shantae McCormick says, ladies, y'all have a biological clock. We really can't afford to be giving the same person all these chances. Be wise. Men have all day to get relationships right. We do not let folks waste your years. Well, I don't know. I mean, we're human just like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think whenever God brings that person into your life, that's your time.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't look back and think that time was wasted.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't look back at a lot of decisions I made via relationship as that time being wasted. I made choices, and I think God led me and strengthened me and grew me, matured me in the midst of those choices. I wouldn't look back and be like, oh man, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. Everything was meant, and when God brings that man, it'll be meant.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I don't know.
and
I agree with her.
okay. Okay, go
I
ahead.
agree because there are so many, women that I know personally who have done that. I wasted a lot of time on a Negro that they thought was just going to get it together and did not, and have spent decades with this person. And now they're in a situation where now they want to, be in a healthy relationship and have all of these things, but most of their youth, their young years as a young woman spent with this same Negro.
But they
And
can still.
I think sometimes
The blessing's still coming,
no.
regardless
To
of
me, it's one of those situations whereas it's like one of those situations where what God has for me is for me situations where we say that's not true. I don't believe it. I don't. I believe that God has certain things for us, but if we're not in a position to receive those things, those same things that were for us can easily be given away. And I think this is one of those situations where we make our own decisions. We make our own choices, just like Leslie said. Some lessons we don't have to learn. We don't always have to learn every lesson. I tell my daughter this all the time. Learn through somebody else. You don't always have to make those choices yourself to learn the lesson. You can learn your lessons from other people. You really can. I don't have to touch the stove to know that it's hot. If I see somebody else touch that stove and they got a 3rd-degree burn, I'm not touching that stove. I'm just not. Because that's a lesson that I don't have to learn. I can learn it by watching someone else. I don't have to learn it by touching it myself to see how hot it is. If I see their hand is blistered up, I just don't have to. And I feel like that's what we do sometimes. We have to learn things the hard way. We don't always have to learn things the hard way. Sometimes we can just learn by watching, by paying attention, by listening. You don't always have to go jump into the situation to learn the lesson. And so I do, in a way, agree with that sister. We do waste our time sometimes in situations that we should have left years ago. But we stick in there, we hang in there thinking that they're going to change, and they don't. And then we turn around, and before long, boom, here we are, 20 years later.
I think, and there's nothing against the young people, but sometimes young folks don't really know what they want out of life.
right.
I agree.
When you reach the senior ages, there is no excuse for that.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
When you hit 50, 45, if you don't know what you want out of life, something wrong with you.
That's true.
So the game plan should be over with. And that's on both sides, the female and the male side. If she don't know what she wants out of life by the age of 45, something wrong with her. Same with the male. I mean, at some point in time, wisdom should kick in. And now when you're young, you're dumb, you're full of you know what? You're trying to find yourself, and well, he might do this, she might do, but at some point in time, you got to stop and say, wait a minute. Life is too short for all this. I know what I want. If she don't match up to that, see ya, baby. There's another bus coming down the street. And people are wasting too much time. That's why this stuff is so chaotic, because folks just don't what they want. But at some point in time, I'm like, just like she said with the example with the stove. Why touch the stove? You know it's gonna burn you. If you see your brother doing it, burn him. Why would you do the same thing? So the thing about it is, you need to know at a certain age. You should know what you want out of life. I know what I want in life. I know what I'm looking for, and so therefore, you got to get to some point in life where you just say enough is enough, and quit going back and going back and going back, because you're like a hamster on a wheel. You're going round and round and round, and you ain't going nowhere. Before you know it, you be dead and going in the grave by yourself.
And I also feel that people have their specific path that they have for their life. And I can definitely say I can't look at anybody else and say I can learn that lesson from somebody else, because their calling, their path, their individuality, who they are as an individual is so different. I can't look at anybody else. When I came to modeling, looking at what marriage looked like, I looked at my parents, but I'm not my mom and daddy. So for me, as I sit here and think about what Shannon said, I have no regrets, because I partied and lived it up in my 20s, and I lived through my 30s being devoted to ministry and celibate. I can't say that was wasted. And no way in the world I would say that time devoted to God was wasted. And then I ventured off into another path. So let me get back here and start dating again and meeting people and opening myself back up to those opportunities in a different way than I did in my 20s. Because now I'm more devoted to who God has for me and more devoted to myself and and loving myself in a different way. But even though I'm still not married, these last 7 years have not been wasted. So I don't think we can say people have wasted their lives, because people will live in that point and get to this point in their life and thinking that they have all this regret and condemnation. And we don't want anyone living in that type of mindset at all. So if you're at a point in your life right now that you, based on the decisions you've made, realize that God has allowed you to make those decisions. And he's blessed you and kept you safe in the midst of it. The thing is seeking God on where your next decision is going to be made and how that's going to work for yourself. And don't let anyone tell you, girl, you wasted all them years. No. You had to go through what you had to go through. Just like the people in the chosen people had to go through the wilderness for 40 years. They had to go through what they had to go through to get to the promised land. And your promised land is still coming. Don't look back with regret and condemnation.
When you're young, that's your training ground. When you're young,
yeah,
that's when you make your mistakes. That's when you learn some things when you're young, in your 20s and your early 30s. You make mistakes
when you're old too. Don't think that.
But when you get to a certain age, I mean, those excuses go out the door.
You make new kind of mistakes when you get to a certain age.
You're still gonna make mistakes.
You shouldn't be doing the same thing over and over. Is what I'm trying to get to. You keep making them same mistakes over and over and over again.
It's insanity doing the same thing, expecting different results.
There you go.
Exactly. That's my point. That right there, doing the same thing over and over again, and then thinking it's gonna work out different. You've been dating the same person. Y'all go together. Y'all break up. Y'all go together. Y'all break up. Y'all go together. Y'all break up, thinking that it's about to be different, and it's not. To me, that is
doing the same thing. People are not thinking that they're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
At a different year, they've matured more. They're looking at things differently. Let's work this way. People in a marriage, you can't do the same thing you did in the first 5 years that you did in the second set of 5 years, right? You do it.
You can't. I agree.
You're matured. You have a new set of tools on how to handle your marriage. Everything is different because you're at a different point in your age, and as you grow older, you're at a different point.
Should be.
You're at a different point. People are looking at it differently. Their worldview is changing. Their perspective is changing. Their wisdom, their knowledge is growing. And people are thinking that they're doing things differently at different points. So we can't call everyone insane. We can't call them insane.
My thing is that if you are doing the same thing over, and my words are not about people, it's about self-reflection. It has nothing to do with this person, that person. It's about your own self-reflection. I think that there is a moment where you have to do self-reflection, and if we sit and we think, there are moments where you're like, I didn't have to do that. You know, a lot of things that are in God's permissive will doesn't mean that it was his divine will. It was all because of choices that we make. And because we made certain choices, that in turn caused certain reactions or certain things to happen because of our choices. We didn't have to make that choice, and it could have been another way. So I think self-reflection is always a healthy thing. And yes, we do waste time sometimes. That is we do. That is a fact. We do. We waste time on things that we shouldn't sometimes. That's all a part of self-reflection. And I don't think that there's anything with acknowledging that, yes, there was a moment here, at this moment right here, I did waste time. I don't want to do that again. Here at this point right here, I wasted time again. I don't want to do that again. I think self-reflection is key to growth, and especially when we're talking about wisdom and as we grow older and making better choices and making better decisions. So yeah, you can most definitely waste your time. You can, especially in situations, relationships that you know you should have gotten out of a long time ago. That doesn't mean that you don't have another relationship that can be healthy, that's in the future or anything like that. What it does mean is that you have to acknowledge the fact and take inventory of yourself that you should have and could have done something differently so that you don't repeat that in the future.
Listen, Carla Renee Henley says, this lady stood up at church and said she had 9 kids and had been engaged for 19 years. Now that is clearly, if that's not the same mistake over and over and over again, I don't know what is. 19-year engagement is way too long to be waiting.
You know, the Bible speaks of wise counsel, and a lot of times young people do not want to listen to the older folk. But see, the older folk have seen how that story gonna end. They'd already seen this movie before. But young folks think that they know it all. And the very time they think that, they find themselves in a mess, and they go into the older people and say, you was right. Well, common sense would say maybe you should listen to them in the first place. Not saying that old people don't know all things, but they have lived long enough and seen long enough, and they know the end of the story. And so there's nothing wrong with asking the older generation about some things because of what that God wouldn't put in his word. Okay? So sometimes we, well, Grandma, what you think about that? Grandma been around. She done seen the low down dogs. She knows what things about. And so sometimes it's good for us to sit at the feet of the older generation and ask them about some things, because like I said, they done seen this movie before.
You know, I was looking at a thing that Joy said, if people idolize marriage, it's harder to see the opportunity. I truly believe that, especially as far as marriage is concerned, because church has made marriage such a big, idolized, gotta be, if you don't, you're going to hell, it has to be done. You know, it's become so big until there's a lot of people that miss out on what life has to offer. Over and above that, they miss out. They just plain miss out because church has made it such a harsh and big thing with marriage, when being single is okay. It took me a long time to decide that for myself, but being single is okay. Do I want to be married at one point in time in my life? Absolutely. But being single is okay. And once we get that in our mindsets, once we get our hearts and our minds together to understand that pushing marriage will just, it messes with a person's psyche when you trying to do everything that you can for the Lord. Everything, Lord, bless me. Lord, do this. Lord, please, God, and please, and Lord, and Jesus, and when it doesn't get answered, then it's like you go into this little mental whirlwind, and you dealing with all these other different things, and then, well, that church ain't right, so then you move on to another church because something happened to that church or something was going on in that church that they wasn't preaching right or they wasn't doing right, when it was you all along, because you wasn't happy with the person that you needed to be in the first place. So it's and I know I kind of went off the subject, but I'm just talking about just seeing what she was saying about the idolizing marriage. We as people have to be careful, men and women alike, because we feel like that if we're not married, then we're damned for hell. We're not going to hell if you don't get married. You are not going to hell. The Bible says to work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. You are not going to hell if you don't ever get married. If you have sex, repentance works all day long. 70 times 7, if that's where you at mentally. But come on, it doesn't mean you're going to hell. Come on, people. Let's get the mindset and the understanding of what the word says and stop just believing what man told you. Read it for yourself. Get an understanding, and all thy getting, get your own understanding of what that word says to you. Anyway, I'm
that goes as well as divorce too. Just because you divorced them and you're going to hell.
Amen to that too.
Sometimes you need to divorce.
Joy says we need to stop having kids watch these fairy tale stories, aka pick me, find me, rescue me. Person I don't know. Start the single is okay, and marriage isn't okay. 2, education at an early age. And talk to Paul, of course. Well, I don't think we can talk to him now, though. But talk to Paul, though. And of course, the offering plate, Kirsten. So, and if her view of you hasn't changed, her actions and treatment of you won't either. Yeah. Oh, yes. I like this. Brother Tony Anthony Williams. Yes. The Bible says if you have those desires, you need to be married. I don't know, was that a typo with the $sign or not, though? So I don't know, but that was pretty interesting right there. And Keena made a reference. I'm not going to look for it. Keena made a reference to Ron Isley. Okay. Which conveniently leads us to our next topic for this evening. And y'all ready for this one? Okay. Plain and simple. Who's your zaddy? Okay. Who is your zaddy? Okay. And thank you from Leslie. Oh, goodness. She got some crazy definitions over here. Okay.
Yes. Read them.
I read it.
Okay.
According to Leslie, according to Urban Dictionary, a zaddy is a handsome gentleman with a certain flair and swag, typically an older aged man. And of course, what is it? A zaddy is a zesty daddy. So I guess that's a portmanteau of zesty and daddy. Okay. Zesty daddy. Now, we addressing this issue right here. As you know, we had the verses this past Sunday, Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
And, of course, it goes without saying that good entertainment, plain and simple.
That's
but
good.
look at, see, y'all pray for Kirsten. She already just swooning over there. That's beautiful. We can't even have a good show without her. Okay, anyway. And then there's something unusual happened. Something unusual happened during this broadcast. That happened right there.
Lord bless it and all America. Yeah.
I don't
I need
know
to get that
what.
hat off and them shades. I can really see his face. That's just too much going on right there.
I mean, on
There's a
my
lot
time.
going on now.
Wait, hold on. Now, listen, all through my timeline,
Whew.
social media, no matter what it is, the female species has lost their entire mind.
Not me.
Okay. Well, not the entire, but some though. They have lost their mind. Some on this panel are sweating. Some watching this probably didn't fell out. So wait. Here's Sherry right here. I'll take one to go with extra swag, please. So,
Mike, did you see Erica Joyce's comment?
Well, help me out. Help me out. Where is it? I found that I think, oh yeah. Mr. Steal your grandma, your auntie, and your mama. And then you know what now? And I heard that you got some young fellas they got 1 or 2 strands of gray in their beard, all of a sudden taking, don't laugh, Liz, all of a sudden they taking selfies to say that they're a zaddy.
Oh, bless you, Father God in heaven. Help me, Jesus.
Just one little strand.
I mean, just a strand. Oh, I'm a zaddy now. And then you got some who dye their hair, like they put that tar or Griffin shoe polish in their beard. Now they washed it out so they could be a zaddy too now. So, I mean, what's up with that? Ladies of the panel, well, jump. What's up? Who is your zaddy? You know, could we be a zaddy? Help us out.
I don't know, Mike. Now that you got that beard, you might can be now.
Mike, you a zaddy.
I'm just saying, since you've grown your beard out, I'm just saying. You might can be one now. I think if we look it up in the dictionary, your picture might pop up now. Just
now you acted like you invisible, Mike, but you didn't go nowhere. You're still there. I just want you to know.
You came back with a whole full face. I mean, what do you expect? Never mind, Michael.
He running for Zaddy. He running for Zaddy position. Mike is running for a Zaddy.
He was ready for this category.
Yes. Yes.
I see you, Zaddy, Mike.
Ladies in the chat. Is Mike a Zaddy?
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Raise your hands, ladies. See what they gotta say. Steve, somebody
said the beard looks nice, Mike. Somebody else said, ooh wee.
Rhonda said, ooh wee.
They're saying, hey, Zaddy Mike. He looks like, come on.
You know what? You know, we have a position opening for host and panelists. Serious inquiries only. Inquire during the after party.
Teresa said that beard is popping.
Zaddy. Come on now.
Yes.
Can we get on with the?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Can we get on with the topic?
Ooh, you see what Carla said. Carla said, I've always loved salt and pepper hair. Mike got those sexy lips. Go ahead and let that
What's wrong with the sexy lips? Yes,
God. I love it when you call
Father
him
in the name, Jesus.
Ooh, Sherry said, I love it when you call him Big Mike the Zaddy.
Okay.
Jenna said Reginald can be a zaddy too.
Big Zaddy Mike, Big Zaddy
Rich.
My name is Bennett, and I'm not in.
You don't have to be in it, Reg. They put you in it. So, well, hey, the people have spoken.
Yeah. I mean, ain't nothing else to say about that, Zaddy.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like a whole snake.
Snack.
Again. Okay. Let's do it this way. Wait, Reginald, you have a fan here.
Sharon said,
Reg is fine.
Ooh.
So, okay, so y'all better.
Okay. They gonna need a room in the after party.
I think this might be a little bit of the other kind of show that be coming on Saturdays, because I see some folks throwing it out there.
They shooting some serious shots.
They are.
Yes.
Can we get back on track here?
Oh yes, okay. Yeah, we can get back on track now.
We got some more.
You started it, Mike.
Liz, you supposed to be my longtime friend. This how you treat me.
Is your longtime friend till death do us part.
She's trying to be your wingman tonight. Come on now, Zaddy.
Help this brother get hooked too.
Zaddy.
Okay, let me ask this, ladies and ladies in the audience. Okay. What is the appeal of a Zaddy? What is so appealing?
Oh man,
go ahead.
It's something that's unwritten. It's like
baby.
It's like either you have it or you don't. It's the way that you present yourself, the way you carry yourself. It's swag. It's your essence. It's everything about you. It's like it just got to make sense. And then there are certain physical attributes that help it, like beards that are kept now. Beards and gray in the beard and sophisticated and distinguished looking, and I don't know. It's just either you are or you are not.
It's the swag. It's the swag. It's all about the swag.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's your whole essence.
Swag.
Yeah. Yeah. All that. I mean, I think it's just the way you walk into the room. The way you encounter, the way you talk. Well, let's say for me, it's the way you talk to me.
Right.
You give me attention, the way you carry yourself, the way you just, the attention you put to detail and how you look and how you present yourself, not only in your physical appearance, but in your intellect. How a man thinks and how he speaks makes him a Zaddy.
Listen,
and how he loves. And how he loves.
And make my.
I'm talking about, how he shows affection. I mean, he brings you flowers, brings you chocolates.
Michael,
the intimacy in the intimacy. Okay, all right.
That's it, care stuff. Just that chemistry, that connection. Hi, Zaddy.
Hola, papi. How you
doing? Somebody said, "Can a Zaddy be broke and still be a Zaddy?"
That's what I was trying to ask, but y'all just didn't. Can he?
It's a Zaddy with a void.
No.
Now Tracy says this right here. Okay, now Tracy says a Zaddy doesn't have to have a beard.
Very true.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
I agree with that.
That's true. And that's why we said it's the essence of him. It's really not the physical attributes are, they're bonuses, but it's his old aura, it's his essence, it's his swag, it's
smile.
It's the intangibles,
His confidence exudes.
Yeah.
His personality. It's the whole confidence that just stands out. When he opens up his mouth, his confidence speaks for itself. It's
the whole package is appealing.
No, Sherry said no Brute, no Old Spice, no Royal.
Please don't do me like that.
No, Sherry, no. Yes, Shabella.
Yes, the way he smells. Yes.
Walking in the grocery store, you can smell him from the next aisle. Like, who is this? That's you like, oh, Zaddy.
Look.
Wait. With Sonoya, I like what Sonoya said. A Zaddy and traded.
Yeah, there's plenty on the training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen to what Carla Renee says. Yes, I love a good voice toned Zaddy.
Oh, look at
That's
my
all.
Carla, how was that tone?
He went grass on us.
What you think, Carla? What you think,
Carla, what do you think about that tone?
Mm-hmm.
But unlike Ron, he must have his own teeth.
Wow.
Wait. Tracy, I say this all the time on this platform.
Oh, no.
If he paid for them, those are his own, okay? It's no what. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one. I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay, there's a warmth and coolness in his words and his approach.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, y'all going crazy tonight. But Cher, I love bearded men. That's nowhere. I can't even do this tonight. That smell of cocoa butter.
Oh, Mike. I would say, don't make her pull you in the corner.
Mike, I'm gonna send you some cocoa butter. I'm gonna send you some cocoa butter, Mike.
Oh, she said, don't make me pull you in a corner.
That's all I want to know. You said cocoa butter. Okay, let me stop.
Carla has shot the shot. What a good.
She did more than shoot. I don't know what that was.
Listen. Jenna said, shoot, I'll take the dentures as long as the teeth are pretty.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Amen to that.
If as long as the teeth, he doesn't look like yuck mouth. And what's the problem?
Yeah, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna say something else. I'm gonna be nice. I'm mic off.
What has stopped y'all this?
Dewan said Ronald Isley used that African shit.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Okay. Ooh, shea butter, baby.
Y'all just going crazy though. Okay, wait. Oh, check this out. Okay, so Barry White was an iconic Zaddy. I think I get it.
Listen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He could talk to me. Oh Lord. God bless his soul.
Y'all okay?
Dennis Haysbert, the Allstate man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I forgot he's like in his 60s. I didn't realize he was in his 60s.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington. They're in their 60s. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Y'all really listen to what Chanel Johnston says. He's slick with his touch. Can touch you without touching you.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's that intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
That intimacy.
And then by the time he touches you, is never mind, Michael.
You just melt. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. See, Shaq.
Yeah, I think Billy D, because somebody's saying Barry White, I think Billy D is the OG of the Zaddy. I think he started it.
Mahogany Billy D?
Between Billy D and maybe Richard Roundtree, they run, they in there somewhere together.
Somebody said Barack. Ooh, child. I ain't gonna disrespect Michelle like that.
Yeah, we're not gonna do her like that.
Okay. And who else says? Wait a minute. What is? I shouldn't even put this up here. Zad is working inside job on you. You never know what. Okay. On that note. Okay. Reggie, I think we need to take this home. I think we need to take. Okay.
Whisper said a word.
But you asked the question, we gave you a definition, and we have given you examples.
We gave you lots of examples.
Perspective. Going back to the first Zaddy, because we can go back further than Billy D. We can go Harry Belafonte type.
Okay.
Yeah. Women and their opinions.
You know what?
Go way back.
You know what?
For real.
We are out of time, y'all. We are so much out of time, though. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun, though. especially for these
happy to get out of this category.
Y'all better miss this day. I don't know what to say for y'all though.
It's fun.
Wait. Okay, wait a minute.
I can't help it if y'all some zaddies.
Reggie was sitting back like, when is this going to be over?
Exactly.
No.
They're looking like a whole snack.
Oh goodness, Erica. No, we got to go. We got to go. We probably finish this at the after party. I just got educated on. Oh, okay. You learned something new in SBC.
Yes,
I tell you that. No.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, everything is my fault. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Rhonda. Well, what do I do next? Okay. We out of time. We out of time. I'm discombobulated right now. Okay. So, as always, we have the after party. Okay. We have the after party. We're going to post the link up in the groups. You click on it, you join it. Okay. And we have a great time. And then this coming Saturday, we go from bad to worse. We shoot your shot. And I don't know, it might go real crazy then. There's no telling what might happen. And then next Tuesday, we do it all over again with Tuesday Talk. Okay. So that is about it, though. Thank you all so much for watching and joining. Thank you all panelists, Leslie, Reginald, Shannon, and Kirsten. We had a great time, and I don't know what else to say. You know, what can't be said. Okay, so anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. Until then, Lord willing, we'll see you next week. Okay, then? Bye-bye, y'all. Bye.
Let's take some time and think for a minute. What's going on? And are we with it? I got the phone call away, but if no one calls, it's another day. How can I explain to you what I feel and what is true? And how can I do my best? How do you? How do you? I hear the things